Hi everybody. So for today's video, what we're going to discuss is healthy meals on the go. Whether that's on the go like I'm going to work, or on the go you're going on vacation or traveling somewhere, ways that we can take good quality food with us so we don't have to sacrifice our health when we're away from home. So it's a little tricky, but not impossible to eat well when we are traveling. It just takes a little time of preparation. We can't trust that the morning of we're gonna have all the time and all the forethought to do everything together. We need to make sure we have things planned ahead of time. For myself, if it's a busy day, I get my whole next day's food pretty much planned out the night before. So if I'm doing lunch out, I pack up leftovers from dinner so they're ready to go. If I have to do dinner out, do I do a second one, or do I know of a place I can get food from when I'm away? Even something like if you're an oatmeal person, putting your oats in your water over in your pan overnight, just cold, left out, so that at least when you wake up in the morning, you just turn it on. Little tiny things like that to help plan your next day out helps a lot with keeping your food when you are traveling healthy. You have to be willing to do this. So if you're not willing to do some planning, it's harder to eat healthy on the go. So try as much as you can to do the planning, do the preparation, to make these tiny adjustments, and it makes the whole process a lot easier. So some things that can be really easy to eat on the go, simple foods. Nothing complicated. This shouldn't be packing a 3-course meal with you. Tiny simple things. Hand fruit. Bananas, stone fruit like apples, peaches, plums, apricots, things like that. Things like pears, apples, bunches of grapes, things that you can just eat as is. You don't want to do things that are complicated. Grapefruit, oranges, things you have to peel like that, things that are going to be a mess, may not be the smartest fruit to bring with you. Clementines might be easier because they peel more nicely. But simple things, nothing where you need a lot of effort or refrigeration. Whole grain crackers. My favorite brand on earth are the Mary's Gone crackers. They're wonderful, and if you are gluten-free needs, they are a gluten-free cracker. But the Wassa crackers, Kashi crackers, anything that's a whole grain cracker like that, no cooking, no refrigeration, no special preparation, you just need something to dip them into. Bottled water, tea bags, so that if you are out somewhere and all they have available is soda, you either brought water with you, or even if they have some hot water dispenser, you can make yourself a cup of tea really quickly. And I know people that just throw the tea bag in the water bottle and let it sort of flavor their water throughout the day. Raw veggies, big baggie of raw carrots, grape tomatoes, celery slices, anything you might like. If you love sweet, sugar snap peas or things like that. Again, they don't need to be refrigerated. If you're going to have them in your car all day and it's a hot day, something like that may not be the best because they might get a little smelly over time, but if you're throwing them in your bag, you're taking them somewhere air conditioned, you just go into them anytime you're hungry. They're not going to require a lot of preparation. Instant soups. The old add hot water and stir. There's actually some healthy forms out there. The Dr. McDougall ones are my favorite. They're full of good quality fiber, they're not too full of salt. And again, if you have access to hot water, you can make yourself a nice cup of soup. So things like dried fruit, dried apricots, dried dates, dried plums, really nice quick snack to go for, that as long as you got somewhere to put them, they're available for you. Whole grain crackers, things like this, very simple, very easy. It's got to be something easy, something that doesn't require a kitchen. If it's food that you have to chop up or reheat in a specific way or eat with a bunch of utensils, it may become a lot harder. So again, these Dr. McDougall soup, any kind of instant soup is nice, but a lot of them are typically just big bowls of salt. These are at least have some vegetable and some bean and some grain in them. They're typically whole, high in fiber, and much less salt. And he even has a lower sodium brand out there for people that need that. They're very delicious, and you just add hot water. It's really, really easy. One of these little containers and a spoon, and you are good to go. And they can be nice and filling, and I see these in tons of grocery stores now, so you don't have to search out a health food store if you're looking for something like this. A lot of places sell these because they're in demand, and they're very simple. Snack bars. Snack bars are a very popular choice, but you gotta watch out to see the ingredients. Most snack bars, even health food bars, they're just candy. If you really look at them, they're just candy that are trying to pretend to be healthy. So they'll say things like high in antioxidants. Well, I could take a chocolate bar and put blueberries in there. It's higher in antioxidants, but does that make it healthy for me? So take some time, look at the ingredients, try to find something that is actually giving you better quality food if you need a snack bar. So Lara bars, these are just made from dried fruit and nuts. They grind them up and they are delicious, and again, very easy to find. And if you have a sweet tooth, they can be very satisfying for that. No added sugar or added other stuff, they're just fruit and nuts. There's also a brand called Vega, V-E-G-A. They're a little more involved. He puts like pea protein and brown rice and quinoa and some other things, so they're sort of more of a meal replacement. A little harder to find, but again, if you need something that you can really sink your teeth into, no refined sugar, no processed food, these are two brands that can be very nice, pretty easy to find, and they're pretty tasty if you need a snack bar or something that you can just throw in your bag or throw in your pocket and eat later on. Now with food from home, it's a great thing because it's food you've already prepared. The tricky thing with food from home is you have to keep it cold and you have to reheat it. So if it's something that has to be reheated, do you have access to a stove? Do you have access to a microwave? Do you have some access to something that's going to reheat the food? If it's something where food safety is going to be concerned, something that has dairy in it or something that has animal food in it, you got to keep that cold. So that's something you can't just put in your desk. So think about the ingredients, think about what's in it, and do you have to eat it with utensils? A fork or a spoon, okay. Do you need a knife? Do you need more of an elaborate setup? So when you're planning food from home, think about how is it going to store and how am I going to eat it. Food, thermoses, things that can keep things hot that need to be hot can be really nice. So soup or anything that needs to remain warm, and I don't have to worry about reheating it, put it in a thermos. Or even temperature controlled lunch boxes they're really getting better at keeping hot foods hot or cold foods cold if you don't have access to a good quality refrigerator. If you throw an ice pack in there and seal it up, sometimes they keep them appropriately cold for the amount of time you need. If you're doing delivery, if you're doing takeout, you're sort of at the mercy of the restaurants or the areas around you, but still just try to make the best quality choice. Load up on if they have things that are grain-based, like rice, noodles, whole grain bread. Do they have something with lots of veggies or beans? Most restaurants tend to have something like that, where they have a bean soup or a lentil soup or a hummus or a chili or something like that, where they have more of these higher fiber foods. Try to avoid things that are deep fried. If it comes with French fries, I've never called to or gone to a restaurant where it came with fries and said, can you just give me a salad with that instead? Make a tiny shift like that, or a bowl of soup or something instead. Chicken fingers, nachos, things that are deep fried or really heavily oiled. These are the things that get us in trouble. So if you can say, well, can you substitute this for this? Or you bring a big bag of something from home and you say, well, just give me the entree, I don't need any of the sides. Or order 3 sides. If they've got steamed broccoli, if they've got a soup and they have zucchini with garlic and olive oil, just get those 3 sides and make a meal out of it that way. And watch out for sauces. Cheese sauces, teriyaki sauce, sweet and sour sauce. They're either full of fat or full of sugar. So see it, can I get it without the sauce? Can you just put the sauce on the side? Can I get it just plain? Little tiny things where I'm still having to work with what they have, but making the smartest choice as possible. And if you really need a sauce, can you bring a container of salsa from home and keep it in the fridge and use that as your dressing or your sauce on your grilled chicken or on your pasta with veggies or whatever it might be. So try to be creative with it. If there's flavors you really like, if you love spice, bring a little bottle of Tabasco sauce with you and keep that in the fridge and just use it as you need to doctor up the food that you might be getting from a takeout. So tiny ideas, little simple things that you can do so that if you have to eat out, you can do so as healthfully as you can. Thank you very much and be well.